Hello and welcome to this video and to a new vlog which will span a period of time that I am unsure of at the moment, but as I've had my camera set up to film my book review, I figured let's jump in and add this in now. It's blooming snowed again, hasn't it? Does it every year. I'm still not a fan, but it meant that my driving lesson's been cancelled as well, which is a pain because I've got a driving test soon. I need all the help I can get with it. So I took Eloise out in it this morning. We threw snowballs for Jeff in the garden. She didn't seem overly keen on it either, but there we go. What else has been happening? Not a lot. Back at work, that kind of thing. I was going to do like a whole video on this, but I think I'll just add it in here about sort of how my 2025 reading came. So I managed to do 70 books, which I'm pretty impressed with, but that's because I utilised and have explored more audiobooks this year. So I've read 14 of those books were done via audio, which still means I read quite a lot of sort of physical, mainly physical books, but also Kindle ebooks as well. So yeah, 70, I'm happy with that, and I'm also really happy it ended on a round number. Something very satisfying about finishing the year on 70 books. Pretty much 50-50 on series and standalones, and 50-50 on new authors and authors I've read before, so both of those I'm pretty happy with as well. The sort of diversity of my reading is virtually non-existent, and looking at my shelf will remain that way for this year because I don't think there's going to be a lot of disability rep or BIPOC authors on there. Not because I actively don't want to read them, it's just how my collection's gone at the moment. So maybe I'll look into that in future to try and change those around. But reading is a hobby and reading is for enjoyment, so to put those kind of things on it I think is a bit futile for me. And that isn't to say that I don't appreciate the works of those people, it's just for some reason or another they haven't landed in my lap yet. So yeah, worst books of the year are definitely Intermezzo by Sally Rooney and In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune, both of which I still actively remember disliking and remember kind of the stories and why I disliked them. Sally Rooney just didn't get on with her writing style, found her characters irritating as, and it's supposed to be this like really good exploration of grief, and I thought it was pants, and it was just dull, and I had to really work to get through that book for book club. In fact, both of these books are for book club. In the Lives of Puppets was a shame because I liked Cerulean Sea, and the writing style is very similar. Obviously it's still found family and a band of misfits and all of that, so I should have liked it. This one's harder to pinpoint why I didn't, but it was a slog and I really didn't like it, and actually across the board at book club it was panned. Very few people actually finished that one. So yeah, those are my two least favourite books of the year. I did give out 2 5-stars, so I gave 5 stars to The Measure, which I think is probably my favourite book of the year, and surprisingly, because that one I did on audio, typically they're not my favourite reads, but The Measure I absolutely adored. It's by Nikki Ehrlich. It's about this whole group of people, well the whole world is given a box one day. Each member of society is given a box, and in that box is a string that determines how long you're going to live. So then it becomes this whole like thing about long string and short stringers and that kind of stuff, and how society reacts to it all. And there's a lot of characters and a lot of stories and things like that, and I really liked it and would highly recommend the audiobook for that book. So that's probably my favourite book of the year. The second 5-star I gave was to Yours Cheerfully by A.J. Pierce, which is the second book in the Emmy something or other series. Dear Mrs. Bird is the first one. That was more because I couldn't fault it rather than it being a 5-star, if that makes sense. It's not a book that I think about regularly, but I also really enjoyed my reading time with it and couldn't think of any reasons why it shouldn't be a 5-star. However, a book that I gave 4.5 stars and I do think about regularly, so probably is my second favourite book of the year, and is a book club book, so swings and roundabouts for that, is Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. The reason it didn't get 5 stars is because it ended on this really massive cliffhanger, which irritates me. I have finally requested the book from my library, the second one, so I can find out what happened. But I read that book back in like March, maybe April, and I still keep thinking about it. So that's probably my second favourite book, despite the fact that I didn't give it 5 stars. So yeah, that is sort of what's happened with my reading. I was quite prescriptive with the books that I picked up last year, in that I had like categories that I had to meet, and I found that, well, I felt like my reading was getting a bit stale, so I'm leaving everything up to fate this year and pretty much just doing like random number generators or shortest books or whatever. So I'm gonna have a load of variety and not really know what I'm reading this year for most of it, other than book club, or if I really have a hankering to read something. So for example, the next book I'm going to read is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, purely because the film's come out and I feel like I'm going to get loads of spoilers, so I want to read that before that happens. So that's not a random choice, it's a mood read 100%, but I don't normally let myself mood read either, so I'm gonna sort of lean more into that and the sort of chance for my reading this year. So as always, if you're interested, click the subscribe button. I'll link the book playlist up here. I do a monthly book review every month, obviously, because it's a monthly book review, yeah, that's what I've been getting up to, sort of thinking about reading and all of that kind of stuff. Still big part of my life. So yeah, I better go and actually do something useful now. Eloise is napping, Pete's at work, although at home because he can't get out of our road because of the snow. So got all of that to do. Right, I need to get this book on the shelf, and then I might actually sit and read my book because I'd quite like to finish it today, but we'll see. Right, I will come back to you at some point in the future. It is now the 19th of January. Now I've been laying here, sort of lounging here, thinking about this video and what to put in it and things like that. Because quite frankly, I'm not enjoying January at all. It's really getting me down this year, and there's a few reasons I've thought about why. Bloody hell, look at that spider. If you don't like spiders, skip. But that is massive. Look at that. I don't think you're going to be able to see it, that's huge. Anyway, that's me distracted. What was I going to say? What was I saying? Yeah, January. I'm not enjoying it. It's, I'm very much suffering from the January blues. There's something about this month where I have felt so tired, like I've been running on fumes tired, that it's just not made for a pleasant time. And as I said, there are a few reasons for that. One is that basically work has just been manic since I've got back. So there's no like breathing space in that. There was no settling back in. It was like sprint, and it's been like that for the past 2 weeks and will be this week and the following week. I don't think until mid-February do I calm down a little bit. And it's all new people in the last couple of weeks as well, which is never my favourite. I don't really like meeting new people. For the job I do, I really shouldn't have it for my personality type, but there we go. I'm really distracted by that spider. So there's that. There is also the fact that, and I don't know if I've mentioned it on here, but it's been going on for so long, I probably have. Most of my workplace was restructured over summer. The team that I'm in have not been done. We were told October, nothing happened. We've been told the new year. We are now over halfway through January, and obviously I've not been in for 2 days because I only work 3 days, but as of my last day last week, we still haven't heard anything, and there's no rumblings of when that might be coming out. So we're still in limbo on that, about do we have a job? Are we going to have to reapply for a job? What does our job look like? Are we going to be downgraded? Are we going to stay the same? what are they going to say about working from home? And it's just so many uncertainties that's just weighing on my mind. Like, I don't really mind. Like, I've been through a lot of restructures and reorganisings and all of that kind of stuff in this place. I've been there for a decade. I've done quite a bit of those. What I don't like is not having a clue of what it looks like and how that's going to affect my future, what I'm planning. Do I need to start looking for a new job in Sheffield because I can't do that one anymore because they want us to come in? That's the bit that's getting me down. And then the, elephant in the room is I've got a driving test this week and I'm not at all confident about it, and it's been weighing on my mind heavily, and my mind keeps sort of wandering to things, both in if I actually pass this test then this can happen, but then being like, yeah, but the likelihood of me passing the test, and then if I don't pass the test then that's just going to be more financial burden and all of that stuff. So that's probably the main thing, because that's making me very anxious. But I will know one way or the other by the end of this week, so that might help. But because of all of that, it has meant that I've been quite impatient and a bit snappy with Eloise, which never makes me feel good. So that adds to all of the things that I've been putting on myself. It's the new year and I feel like we should be getting on and doing stuff, but because I've been knackered, and to be fair, Pete's in a similar position, we just haven't been, so that's weighing me down. And yeah, I'm not in a very positive mind frame at the moment. And we haven't really done anything, so we were snowed in last weekend. Before the weekend I spoke to you, we basically didn't go out because we couldn't, because we were snowed, because there was snow. And with our road, we're on a hill, and although all the main roads are all right, getting down to that is very dangerous and not ideal, so we just didn't go out. And then last weekend, actually we did go out, it was nice. Randomly, the European Figure Skating Championships were happening in Sheffield this weekend, and they set up like a fan zone in the city centre, which included a free ice rink. So we thought, there's a few things we need to do in town anyway, which I'll come to, not that they're very exciting, but there's a few things we need to do in town, so we'll go anyway. We'll have a look at the ice rink to see if they have skates small enough for Eloise and that kind of stuff, and then we'll get some food. So that's what we did. We ended up not going on the ice rink because I was going to film some of that. I didn't intend on going on the ice. While she's small enough not to bully me, I could get away with it. So we went down, we went in the queue, it was quite long. And it turned out that they're doing 20-minute sessions. And we would be in the third, so there was one on the ice, there would be one in front of us, and then it would be us. So we were going to be waiting about 40 minutes. Plus they didn't have skates that would have gone small enough for Eloise. Pete would have liked to have done it, but for 40-minute wait, it wasn't worth it. So we left that, which was a shame because that could have been quite fun, and it was free, so we like a free activity. But we got the things that we needed in town. I needed some new jeans, so I went and did that because all of mine are starting to go in the sort of upper thigh where they rub together as I walk. Although there's no holes at the moment, I just wanted to make sure I had some jeans to replace them when that did happen, because that won't be that long away. We also have a birthday party. Well, we don't. Well, we do. Me and Pete are going too. But Eloise has a birthday party, so we needed to get a present for that. So we got that in the works. It's just this little like bakery tray set thing. It was cool. Got her birthday card and a birthday card for this party, that kind of stuff. And we had a look in the new sort of Korean supermarket doodah. So, I mean, it worked out well. It's just, it wasn't, just not, yeah, that's been like the highlight of the month so far, and that says a lot. We went to Bella Italia for food because I don't know when I'm posting this, so hopefully it's before, but they finished this deal on the 29th of January, I believe it was, where you can get £5 pasta, and it's any pasta on the menu that you can have for £5. So we did that, and then the kids' meal, The smaller kids meal is $6.99, so Eloise got a 3-course meal for $6.99, and we had some of that. So yeah, a very reasonably priced meal, and it was nice, it was tasty. I haven't been to Bella Italia in years. There we go. So yeah, that's been like the main thing that we've done. I can't even see us doing much this weekend. Anyway, I will come back to you on Thursday, which is the day I have my driving test, because I'm off the whole day. So my test is in the morning, and then I've got the rest of the day off to celebrate or commiserate, basically. So, as expected, I have failed my driving test today. I will come on to that in a bit. It's just been a week, and everything has compounded to this. And I am so glad that I took the whole day off today, and that I can just now rot on the sofa. Well, I can't, again, come to that. But the plan is to rot on the sofa and watch RuPaul's Drag Race until they come home from work and nursery. But let's rewind. So, Monday, absolutely fine. Me and Eloise went to toddlers, all good, all working fine. She ate dinner, blah, 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 blah. Monday night, she was very hard to get to bed. She didn't want to, lay down or anything, go to sleep. And then on one of the times that we had to go up there, I mean, she was coughing, so we put it to that, but she was sick. And we just put that down to the fact that she got herself so worked up and she was coughing. But obviously then that played on my mind a bit, and I was trying to sleep because I could hear her coughing a little bit, but not loads. I mean, we've had far worse, but obviously she'd been sick, so I was a bit conscious that maybe that was going to happen again overnight. And it didn't. It was fine. And in the morning, she was a little bit miserable. She has been all week in the mornings, but took her temperature. Everything's okay. Off to nursery she goes. I have 6 meetings back to back on Tuesday, and probably about 4:30, so I just finished my last meeting, I started to feel really quite ill. But to put it down to maybe it's nerves. I know I've got my test coming up soon. Have I just got myself worked up and I've got a nervous belly? But no, I was then sick myself. Managed to get Jeff around for a walk. Happened again when we came home. And then Pete was like, yeah, I'm not feeling good. So in the end, we just didn't have dinner. We laid on the sofa and watched an episode of Traitors and went to bed really early. And although we were in bed for a long time, I don't think I slept for that long. And then about 2 o'clock in the morning, I was sick again. And I definitely managed to get to sleep after that. So Wednesday, woke up feeling better. Didn't feel like I was going to be sick or anything like that. But weak, woozy, all of that kind of thing. And then I have another extremely busy day at work. So there we are. We have to go through that. Managed to have a light lunch, light dinner, so kept things down, which is good. Feeling still a bit rotten. And then we come to today. So me and Pete both been ill. Eloise has obviously been sick. We imagine it came from her, and that was the start of it. This was like a 12-hour bug kind of thing, the way I think of it. But yeah, so we came to today feeling better, but obviously still not completely there. Still got a dodgy stomach. Again, don't know whether that's the nerves of today or the illness, but we go with it. Fine. Not ideal. But last night Jeff was a bit funny. We also got woken up at 3 a.m. by a massive bang, and we still can't really work out what that is. I don't know if it's something outside or whatever, but so we would come in to look at that. So we were up for almost an hour trying to work that out, and then trying to get back to sleep after that. So not the best preparation to come into a driving test. So then this morning we come downstairs to find that Jeff has also been sick all over the lounge. So it's now passed through all 4 of us, including the dog. So I'm being picked up by my driving instructor at 9:15 to go for my driving test. We know that's the thing. We have to get we decided to, you know, have a little bit of sleep because of what's been going on anyway. So we're later in getting up and getting Eloise ready and things. So we managed to come down, sort her out, get her in the high chair with her breakfast. Then we have to clean up Jeff's stuff. I need to get him out for a walk. They need to get off to nursery and work. So it's all a bit manic this morning. I managed to get a slice of toast in me, and then basically he's here, and I haven't managed to get myself in any mental space for it. And I'm also super nervous and not expecting to do very well, to be honest. And that was the case. So, yeah. Then we get to... So he drives me, then we do like a half an hour just warm up, I suppose. And actually I feel like I'm driving pretty well. He hasn't mentioned anything. I'm doing the right stops to let cars by and all of that kind of stuff. Don't feel like I've made any mistakes. I'm nervous as, but don't feel like I've made any mistakes. Do the whole test centre thing. My assessor, I don't know what you call them, so I'm going to call him an assessor. Examiner, I suppose. Comes out. Compared to the others, he seems really quite stern. Like some of the others are a bit more chipper, I suppose, when they're doing the whole let's look at your driving licence thing. He's not. We get to the car, he asked me how I am. I was like, I'm very nervous. I'd like to pretend that I wasn't, but I am. And at no point did he like put me at ease or anything like that. So start the test. Within like the first turn I've clipped a curb, so immediately think, and it's a turn that I have done I don't know how many times, because we obviously come to this area a lot and we come to where the test centre is to practice stuff, and I have done this turn countless times, so many times, and I have never, I mean I think in the whole of my driving lessons I've hit the curb once. So of course I do it on my driving test. So I don't know where that is in the majors, minors, all of that kind of stuff. So I immediately go, well, I've just failed my driving test, and spiral. And then from there it just gets steadily worse. So yeah, I failed my driving test. I now need to find a new one. I now need to clean up the carpet, because although we did a bit of a job this morning, I now need to go over it with stain remover and all of that stuff. Which isn't, you know, the plan that I had for this afternoon. But hey, I need to go and do that. So yeah. I don't really know how I feel. It's what I expected, and I know I shouldn't have gone into it expecting it, but it's what I expected. I know what I'm like in these situations, and if it was just my brain, like answering questions like the theory test, and I can link that video where I did that, I can get through that on nerves, but driving tests, there's a bit too much that goes into it, and it's not my forte at all, so hey ho. Although it's what I expected, obviously it's disappointing, because it would have been helpful to have just passed now. It would have saved me money, for one thing. Time, effort, all of that. But hey ho, we move on. We go again at some point if we can ever find a driving test. But yeah, so I now need to go and clean some carpets. So I've been editing this video and want to apologise for my moaning, but you know how my January's been going. I'm currently, the glare that you can see is because I'm on my laptop, and currently there are no driving tests available in my area on any date, so we're back to that fun games again. So if anyone's got any what's the word I'm looking for, any tips on how to get a cancelled driving test, please let me know and put them in the comments below, because that would be very helpful for me. Yeah, I'm going to end this video now. The next one you see, I don't know what it's going to be. It is my birthday next week, so I will probably start something around then, but figured this one is long enough and there's plenty of me moaning in it, so I'm going to end it here. If you have watched all of this, thank you very much, and also just thank you for being an outlet for me to complain to. Obviously I have Pete and I have my family and things like that, but sometimes just talking to a camera to figure out how my brain's working is very helpful. I know I don't necessarily have to edit it and upload it for you all, but it's what life is, isn't it? And that's essentially what my channel is. So yeah, just thank you for being an outlet for me to moan at. It's very helpful. So yeah, I'm going to end this one here. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, or even just give it a thumbs up to show me that you care. I say, if you've got any comments, do put them in the box below. And I will see you, hopefully in a better mood, in the next one. Bye.